What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. We're going to be going over all of the charts today, talking about some key levels in a bunch of these different names. And we're going to go over all of the indexes, Mag 7, and some certain ticker symbols. So before we dive into this, here's my disclaimer. Trading is risky. This is not financial advice and for entertainment purposes only, but I do hope that you find value in this video. And if you do, if you would be so kind to smash the like button, it helps with the algorithm and my small YouTube channel can grow its wings and fly, hopefully like your portfolio. All right, so taking a look at the Dow, pretty much flat. NASDAQ, down a little bit, pretty much flat from yesterday though. S&P 500 closing pretty much where we closed the other day, but the Russell sank today. Very interesting. Looking at the S&P 500 heat map, you can see tech still under the gun. Banks did not do too well. Energy not doing well again. And overall, just kind of mixed. If we look at the ETFs, you can see regional banking and biotech didn't do so hot today. The IWM, Russell 2000, did not do too hot today. So a little bit of profit taking happening today. However, I do still remain bullish on these sectors. I think this is a normal pullback that will correct itself over the next week or two. Utilities kind of come into life a little bit today. And consumer discretionary. So consumer discretionary has been beaten up. This seems like a day where, you know, opposite day. Remember playing opposite day in middle school? So that's kind of what was today. I don't expect the entire week to look like today. I would be kind of shocked. So let's dive into the charts. First, we're going to start with the SPY. And actually, I'm going to use this chart here because it's a little bit more informative. You can see here, we did close below the 10-day moving average. And we did have, you know, some support from 443, price rejection 443 up to 444, but we could not break 445 and close above it. We did push all the way up to 447, but it would appear that there is a bit of a wall at 447. So until we can break that, I'm not expecting much upside. And as I've been saying, I do expect a little bounce from this, maybe up to these moving averages, and a retreat, potentially down to the cloud to a double bottom. I don't really suspect that we're going to get down to these levels, and if we do, it could be much longer from now. But the chop that we experienced today, I do expect to see more of that going forward. Looking at the NASDAQ, we are in the cloud, closing within the cloud. Nothing good to see here, really. The only thing I see of potential value here is we do have a smaller volume, red volume candle, but it created a doji. We had a doji yesterday. This doji closed a little bit higher. Basically, the NASDAQ is waiting on earnings, which we are going to be getting for the big tech stocks starting tomorrow with Microsoft, AMD. I'm going to be having my eye on Arista Networks. If I get a chance to buy this cheap, I'm going to do that. And then the day after, we got Meta. And then on Thursday, after the close, we got Amazon and Apple. So the big tech, Mag 7, you know, this is the big week for it. Moving to the Russell. We had a red day today, but we're still closing above Tenkan-sen. This Ichimoku is still looking very positive. The selling pressure today was on lower volume, and so I would not be worried. I remain long this position. And breaking this 227 level is going to be critical. And I do really think that we're going to see it in the next week or two. I want to get it in a little bit closer here and take a look at the hourly. So starting this morning, see here, where'd it go? Here we go, 29th. Starting this morning, we had a big sell down on the hourly, but we did close above Kijinsen on the hourly, finding some support. On the 15-minute chart, that gets a little bit more interesting. Yeah, a lot of selling pressure at the end of the day. However, we did have a nice little bounce right here. So we found our temporary bottom, and we kind of double bottomed here. You can see this is a key level, this 220, 220.50, call it. That is a key level, and we didn't actually touch it today. So that's good. Let's take a look at semiconductors, because yeah, we got up there and then we just sunk, and we closed real ugly on the last 15 minutes with semiconductors. So let's take a look here. This level right here, 240, we got to close some candles above it if we have a chance, because otherwise we could be heading down to this Gann level at 226, 225. And if I go to the daily, I believe there's some confluence there. Actually, no. So we closed right below the cloud today. Expecting more softness out of the semiconductors. We did get some earnings from, let's see here, we got Monday. Where the heck did it go? Okay, so we don't actually have any today. Is Lattice? Let's take a look at Lattice. LSCC. Let's see how it's doing after earnings. Oof. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not putting my money into the semiconductors just yet. AMD is going to be interesting tomorrow. If I might buy a little bit of AMD if we see a big drop on it, because it's already been so beaten up, and I think going into the next year it'll recover. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at tech. We're going to look at XLK. Closing within the cloud, under Kijinsen still on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly, where that's sitting. So we closed once again right above Kijinsen. On the daily, let's see the volume today. Volume is kind of low today, so I think there's a lot of wait and see with tech earnings. We're going to go to NVIDIA now, take a look at the Mag 7. Looking just like those other charts that we saw, isn't it? Inside the cloud on the daily. Are we seeing any kind of sign of turnover? So these are Heikin-Ashi bars. You can see when you start to see, like when there's no lower wicks or no upper wicks, it indicates a strong trend. We're getting some upper and lower wicks here. The candles remain red though, so I don't really see a trend reversal signal from the Heikin-Ashis just yet on NVIDIA. Tesla, I think Tesla had an interesting day today. So Heikin-Ashis are liking Tesla. I'm going to go to the regular candles here. We closed today at 232-ish, which is good. So we got above the downtrend line that we've been seeing playing out on Tesla for the last year or two. You can see if I bring this all the way back, I actually have to go to the weekly chart to show you the beginning of it. So we've had this downtrend line in force for some time now. And after earnings last week, we closed under it, but we closed over it today. And we did so in a pretty strong way. We actually closed over the 200-day moving average. So that's good. There's signs of life out of Tesla yet. This stock bewilders me though, so I don't actually have any in my portfolio. I know it's loved by many, but the moves on this thing are just so erratic that I have a hard time, owning the name for the long term, because you just never know when the floor is going to drop out. And like you can get these big runs and you're like, all right, and you get super bullish on it, and then it just falls apart on you. And yeah, it's a little maddening to own Tesla, but if you feel like there's a reason why I should own Tesla, or something I should know about its price action that you know better than I, go ahead and comment that down below. I'd love to know more about Tesla. Apple is in the arc, and looking at Heikin-Ashi candles, we do have a downtrend. we may be finding ourselves heading down to the bottom of this fib channel. I don't think we're really going to just crunch to it though. And earnings could change everything, you know, on this name. Really could. So it'll be interesting to see how they seduce some investors to believe in it again. I would love to see a pop back over the GAN level, which is 223. Meta has earnings on Wednesday, and it is finding support inside of this Fibonacci channel. So we could see some modest increase tomorrow to stay within the fib channel, and then from there we're either going to bust you know, this thing could pop, or we're going to really bust and come down to 444. If that were to happen and we were to test this GAN angle, I would wait to see how it responds to the GAN angle and potentially add a little bit more to my portfolio, because I do believe Meta is going to be able to withstand volatility going forward, because it does have a more attractive price to earnings ratio. And I honestly think that it deserves a better price to earnings ratio. Amazon bumping its head against the Kijun-sen today, but finding support above the cloud. We are in a holding pattern, likely between those two, until we get to earnings. That would be my guess. You may see it try to front run up. I don't think we're going to front run down into earnings. I think we go up, and then if earnings are bad, then we come down. And I don't really think we drop below like the 173. And I do want to show you something here. We are closing candles, you know, above this GAN fan that I have drawn, and this GAN fan has been an important point of support. You can see right here and right here. So, oh, you know what? On the daily, we're actually below it. So the cloud is holding us up. That's pretty much our main support, and the 200-day moving average. I just don't think that we drop below. But, you know, I do have a fib level drawn here at 175. I would be considering adding to my position there if I were to get a chance. We'll have to see how it reacts to those levels. That would put it under the cloud, though. And according to Ichimoku, you probably shouldn't be entering when price is under the cloud. So, yeah, earnings is going to play a huge role with Amazon going forward. Speaking of stocks that have had earnings, Google finding support here at the 200-day moving average. We did hit the bottom of the RSI, and you saw a bounce occur at that moment. Stiff price rejection occurring at the bottom of the cloud at 166. This could just be a bounce where we hit the top of the cloud and then push down below. So I'm not super bullish on Google, but let's see if it's near any GAN levels. So, okay, cool, you guys. It is holding this GAN angle right here. And we found support at this GAN level. So now we do have lower volume. There just seems to be lower volume in the market today. But we're going to have to wait and see how this plays with these levels. If it starts to drift, you know, it'll probably come and test this angle a few more times. But if it shows price rejection off this GAN level at 170 and it doesn't really touch it, and it comes up and, you know, does something like that, then you know that you got double support. You got support nearby here, and this would be serving as support. And when you have two levels of support like that, it makes the trade a little bit safer. A little bit safer. Microsoft also has earnings this week. Struggling to close above this GAN angle. I don't think it'll be able to do so until earnings. But we are closing above our GAN angle. Actually, this is a fib channel. Closing above the fib channel. So what was that other name that was like that? Was it was it NVIDIA? Or was it Meta? No, it was Meta. So Meta and Microsoft, kind of the same thing here, hugging the lower end of this fib channel. It looks like this fib channel is confirmed, but I would like to see a candle close, you know, inside the cloud or something like that. So I don't know if we're going to get that before earnings, or, you know, we'll just have to wait and see on that. So that's the Mag 7. Let's go to some other big dog names like Netflix. Netflix having a soft day today. Looks like it wants to float down to the bottom of the cloud and this GAN angle. I would be very, very tempted to pick up shares if we were to hit this level and wick back up, knowing that these levels will serve as support. And we may get an opportunity to do so after some of these earnings calls. Like, you know, if some of the other big tech names do well and the overall tech market starts to show some signs of life, then we might have an opportunity here with Netflix. You know, some of those other names are going to be flying in one direction or the other, and it's really ill-advised to go chasing earnings because often they come back, you know, revert to the mean. But you might be able to get a chance to pick up Netflix, you know, in a tight range or something, which would give a little bit better a risk reward. Costco had an interesting day today. We went up and then we went down. Reducing red volume, so the selling pressure might be coming out of this name, although the Heikinashis do continue to show no upper wicks. So Costco is, you know, not really a buy right now. I wouldn't say that it's really a buy yet. And that's coming from someone who's probably their largest position in their portfolio is Costco. Been buying this thing since 2016, and it just does so good, I can't sell the damn shares. But we could see, you know, us come down to the bottom of this fib channel, and this line I have drawn here, it's a very important marker. You can see it served as support and resistance multiple times. Sitting and support here. So this is a critical level right here that I would suspect would hold if we were to go down there anytime soon, because we would just be oversold at that point. So if we were to get down to 787, geez, I might have to go even more overweight on Costco. Might have to just go even more overweight on Costco at that point. Eli Lilly, interesting chart today. It looks like, here, let's go to regular candles. We're closing under the cloud, you guys. Eli Lilly's looking scary right now, is all I'm going to say. So this would not be a buy. I would not consider this a buy the dip opportunity just yet. I'd rather see some, you know, some kind of reversal on the Heikinashis. I mean, I don't even think that we're getting those on the 4-hour chart. No, we're not. We had a maybe and then a continuation. So Eli Lilly continuing to look soft. Visa had a bit of a bounce today, but I'm not ready to trust this because the volume is going down as we're going up. So I don't think we're really going to be able to get through all this resistance. We might just peter out and then come back and make a new low. And this is another stock that, you know, at 246 becomes very, very, very attractive to me. Because if you go back, this chart, I mean, Visa's a beast, and it usually performs alongside the S&P 500, and it has diverged away. So it will play catch up one day to the S&P, I would predict. And you know, if we can catch it at the end of its divergence, you would outperform the S&P during that time period, you know, between when it then and when it catches up. So I'm interested in those sorts of opportunities. Spotify, I entered a new position into Spotify today. And let's see how that idea panned out. So we're holding above Tenkinson. I feel safe in this trade. It could come all the way down to 317, but we're getting strong price rejection. And these two red candles are on very low volume compared to the green candles that we got. Looking at the Heikinashi, this is Heikinashi. So looking at the regular candles, we closed with a green doji today. So I think this is another one of those names that'll move around with the earnings that we see in the Magnificent Seven. And one day, this could even be in the Mag 7. That's why I wanted to pick up some shares on it. Industrials, GE, giving us a red doji candle, but we did close above yesterday. So while this is a red candle, it is on lower volume and we closed higher. And if we take a look at the Heikinashi candles, we still have an uptrend. We broke this indecision and I think we're moving higher on this name. Similarly, I opened a position in Lockheed Martin, and in Lockheed Martin, I want to show you something cool. All right, so I drew a GAN box for Lockheed Martin. You can see we are flirting with the idea of getting up and over this, and with the strong earnings that we had, I do think that this has the ability to get up and over and continue its strong move. So that's what I am hoping for. I was lucky enough to catch it like right around 500 bucks. So even if it retraces a little bit and then pushes over, I'll still be, you know, in the money for this name. But Lockheed Martin is a really strong name, especially with all the geopolitical nonsense going on in the Middle East, and everywhere else. And as we go into the election, there could be some, you know, military things happening, and so this is a pretty good hedge play along with GE Aerospace, in the event that we have some kind of black swan event or something. You know, Lockheed Martin could benefit from that. Another important name is SOFI, and SOFI continues to be right inside of the arc, and it held a critical level at 725 today. Tomorrow we have earnings, and we have our earnings in the morning, and so we're going to find out really quick, you know, what is going to happen with this name. I have a slightly overweight position on this because I'm a madman. My name is Risky Ryan. But I have hope that we get to finally push over $8 after these earnings, because the Russell is doing really strong, regional banks doing really strong. So I feel like there's some macroeconomic tailwinds, and people's short positions, I think, are going to come unglued if the earnings are really good. And the earnings were really good last time as well. So I got some hope for this name. We had a really nice rejection off this GAN angle right here, and just a dismissal of this like level that I drew here that was important in the past. And so we do have support at 712 with the ARC and Kijinsen. And this is a weekly chart, so let's go to the daily. So we did close under Tenkan-sen a few days, but we're in the ARC. We had a bunch of selling pressure today, which is kind of crazy to me, but people are scared of the earnings. They don't want to hold this name through earnings. So, and that is totally understandable. Question for you guys: is anyone else holding this name through earnings? Anyone else, any SOFI holders out there that are mad enough to hold this through earnings like I am? Leave me down below, you know, if you're a SOFI holder. All right, cool. So just to take a look at these earnings one more time, just to close this video up, we do have SOFI and PayPal in the morning. We got Pfizer in the morning, BP, Procter & Gamble, Corning, which will be an interesting one to see, because this is I believe that's an industrial name. Merck could have a really strong one because the smaller healthcare names do seem to be getting some love lately. So that's one to keep an eye on. And then after the close, we got AMD, Microsoft, Starbucks, Arista, Pinterest, First Solar. These names have been doing really good. Caesars, Lemonade, Electronic Arts, and GeneDX. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you learned something. And if you did, if you enjoyed the video, would you please hit me with that like button and consider becoming a member? I am within my first 100 subscribers. I meant subscribe to the to the channel. Once I get my first 100 subscribers, I think I grow some wings and my channel can take off finally. So if you bless me with that subscribe, bless me with a comment and a like, it would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, Risky Ryan out.